What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj, and today we're going to be going back into the realm of college basketball just a little bit. The only time I've ever made a video talking about college basketball was when I did a video about who's going to be the number one draft pick for 2017. If you haven't seen it, you probably have, because that's my most viewed video in a very long time. I did it about 2 weeks ago, and it has like 58,000 views right now. Talked about, Lonzo or Markelle Fultz, which one of these guys is going first overall. That was a hit. So I'm going to talk about Lonzo Ball again. This guy, as we all know, is probably the most covered college basketball player in the NCAA. I mean, there really aren't a lot of guys, that get this sort of press. We're hearing a ton about it. Everybody, most NBA fans already know everything about, or most things about, Lonzo Ball already, just because he's such an intriguing prospect. We've all heard about, how great this 2017 NBA draft is. And Lonzo is a guy that, we really want to see him on an NBA floor. I mean, he's looking like such a great, complete player. And he's highlighting this amazing 2017 draft class, and I think that he's going to be a star in this league for sure. But we're going to be talking about some claims that we've heard from his dad, LeVar Ball. And basically, I mean, most people have heard about this. This is also, again, news that, it's about a college basketball player, but it's extended so far that most sports fans, or a lot of sports fans, know about this situation because it's gone basically viral. LeVar Ball said that his son, Lonzo Ball, is and will be better than Stephen Curry, and he also said that Lonzo Ball, he wants Lonzo Ball to play for the Lakers, and he's really pushing him to play for the Lakers in hopes that the Lakers draft him and all that stuff. Now, what do I make of this? The Steph Curry thing, that's about a week old around. I'll give my opinion on that. This Lakers thing, that's more recent. That's I think today or yesterday or something like that. But that just happened. Now, let's start with the Steph Curry thing. Lonzo Ball is so complete. This is it's just so hard to argue from Lonzo Ball's perspective. Even though LeVar Ball said that if you put, he said what after saying that Lonzo is better than Steph Curry, he said, well, put Steph Curry on UCLA and put Lonzo on Golden State and see what happens. Basically, he's saying that if you switch them, Lonzo is going to be better. Lonzo's, whatever. Honestly, that's not, Lonzo Ball is 19 years old or 18 years old or whatever, and he's a freshman in college. He's a star, but he's still a freshman in college. Steph Curry's a two-time MVP. He's been around. He knows what he's doing. He's a great player that just benefits his team. Lonzo Ball will be great in the NBA, I'm pretty sure. But he's not ready for that type of pressure right now. He's not ready, for that. And we're not really going to talk about, is this bad for LeVar Ball to say that? Because that's been covered. I mean, that's everyone's already talked about that. Everybody's already said, oh, well, LeVar Ball is putting too much pressure on his son. And then other people are like, well, he's setting the expectations high for him. People have different views on this. But I'm going to talk about, the reality of what he's saying. First, with the Steph Curry thing. Now, obviously, Lonzo Ball isn't as good as Steph Curry right now. And, apart from what, LeVar Ball says, that's not true. However, Lonzo Ball does have potential that, he could be nearly as good as Steph Curry. I don't think he's ever going to be as good as Steph Curry, because Steph Curry is a top 10 player in the NBA. A few years ago, he was higher than the top 10 player in the NBA, or last year, I should say, because last year, at times during the regular season, he was the best player in the NBA. I'm not saying, he won the MVP. He had the best performances last season, and he was a top 3 player last season. Obviously, he hasn't had as good of a season this year, but you get the point. Steph Curry led a team that went to a 73-9 record. He was putting up 30 points per game. He was shooting the lights out. He was setting records like crazy. He won MVP for the second time in a row. So Steph Curry has got his pedigree. I mean, he's already established himself. We all know Steph Curry is going to be a Hall of Famer in the NBA. Lonzo Ball hasn't played a single minute in the NBA yet. Now, Lonzo Ball, that being said, has the potential to be, I think, a more all-around player than Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry, we know him for his shooting, and he is a shooter. He's not an all-around player. He is a shooter. Now, if you want to come at me and say, well, he gets 6 assists and 5 rebounds and 2 steals, and you throw in these numbers and he can get to the basket. But I know Steph Curry has good capabilities, but those capabilities, his ability to pass the ball, he's a pretty good passer. I'll admit that he's not an elite passer, but he's a pretty good passer. His rebounding is good for a point guard. I'll give him that. He's a pretty good rebounder. His defense, I don't think he's that good of a defender, but he can get steals. So he's pretty good at getting steals, but he's not an elite defender. He's not elite slasher. His game on offense is opened up by his shooting. If he can get past people because they overplay him due to his amazing jump shooting ability. It all stems from his shooting ability. All of his offensive skills are made so much easier. It's so much easier for him to get to the basket. So much easier for him to set a guy up for an assist just because he's such a good shooter. That's my point here. Lonzo Ball, it's different with him. Lonzo Ball can shoot the 3 pretty well. He's up about 41% from 3. And he's not a guy that just shoots 3s, right on the line in college. We all know the college 3-point line is a little bit closer, but he can hit the deep balls. He can hit shots in people's faces. Okay, he's really good from the 3-point line. He's athletic. He gets to the rim. He can finish with either hand. He's a monster finisher. He can dunk on people and all sorts of stuff like that. He could play the 1 or the 2. Really, because as a shooting guard, he would be a pretty good shooter. He can dunk the basketball, but obviously he's beneficial as a 1 because he's got that passing ability, that vision. That's, when he comes in the league, I believe that he'll be a better playmaker, better defender than Steph Curry probably. And his shooting, it's not going to be better. His ball handling is probably not going to be better. He's got good ball handling, but Steph Curry, he's crazy with that. That's one thing I should mention. Steph Curry's really good on ball handling. But I think Lonzo Ball will have aspects of his game that are better than Steph Curry. I think that he's probably going to be a more all-around player than Steph Curry. Will he be better? Probably not. I don't see that. Maybe he could be better than a version of Steph Curry, but not that MVP Steph Curry. No way. Now, let's talk about the Lakers thing, because this one actually happened more recently. It's, it hasn't been talked about as much as the Steph Curry one. But this one is also interesting because there was a quote by LeVar Ball talking about, drafting, they'll try to influence other teams besides the Lakers to not draft Lonzo Ball. I don't know if that's a good idea. I know there was like a GM or something that said they're not drafting Lonzo Ball and they've got a high pick, or it was like an anonymous GM. I don't know, but that's crazy. If you have a top 2 pick, you gotta use one on Lonzo Ball. But he said he wants him to play for the Lakers eventually. The Lakers, I gotta say, it's LA, a big stage, a storied franchise. This is the second greatest if you measure by titles. Franchise in basketball, NBA history. Okay, they've got their achievements as a franchise. Lonzo Ball, does he fit next to D'Angelo Russell? I'm trying to, because with these, I'm gonna think like, okay, he says he's better than Steph Curry. We're gonna look at it. Him and Steph Curry. What happens? An NBA Lonzo Ball, maybe a 25-year-old Lonzo Ball. How good is a 25-year-old Lonzo Ball? I think a 25-year-old Lonzo Ball could put up something like 19 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, or something like that. I think that I don't see him putting up 25 plus points, something like that. But he can hit the 3, and he can hit a shot when you need him to, but I think he's looking to pass more. Anyway, back to the Lakers thing. We're going to talk about how he would fit in the Lakers roster, because when you talk about him in the Lakers, we're going to assume, just for the sake of this argument, that Lonzo was drafted to the LA Lakers. What are you doing with the franchise now? Obviously, if the Lakers are the number 2 pick, you have to pick Lonzo Ball, okay? He's the best player available. He's a franchise centerpiece right there. He's automatically probably the number 1 guy on that team. Immediately. I know D'Angelo Russell, he's pretty good, and he was a second pick a few years ago, but Lonzo Ball trumps him, okay? Lonzo Ball, we're saying, okay, he's better. And I think that Lonzo Ball is going to be a better pro for sure than D'Angelo Russell. Are you trading D'Angelo Russell? You're playing him with the 2? I don't think, if you fit those 2 guys in the backcourt, that's a pretty big backcourt, but Lonzo Ball is the point guard. You're not having him play the 2 again for like D'Angelo Russell. You're going to have to ship away D'Angelo Russell if he doesn't work at the 2, because you're not going to put D'Angelo Russell on your bench. He's your young player you're developing, and Magic Johnson has high expectations for him. So you might trade him away, get a package in return that will help you build around Lonzo Ball. I don't know. It's interesting to think about, but I would really see Lonzo Ball going to a team like, I don't know, who Phoenix? Phoenix might have the 2nd pick. I don't know. That would be weird because they already have so many guards, so they'd have to trade Eric Bledsoe and get something good in return. They could really do that. I think that if Phoenix gets the second pick, they got to get rid of Eric Bledsoe 100%. You can't have Lonzo being a backup. No way. And you're not picking Josh Jackson over Lonzo Ball to me, because I think like Josh Jackson's really good, but Lonzo Ball is Lonzo Ball. You can't pass on Lonzo Ball. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what team you think Lonzo Ball is going to play on first. Let me know if you think he's ever going to be better than Stephen Curry in the comments section. Let me know also another idea for a video, because I kind of need them right now. Like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new, and I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.